Hey everyone, welcome to the Entertaining Pudding YouTube channel. Today's episode, we're going to be covering ROM Spaceknight from the Marvel Legends series. Here he is in his package, as you can see, spinning around here. It's a cool package. It's got like the comic book with #1 up there on the front. On the back, as it comes around, we've just got more figures in the wave. There's Miles Morales, Banshee, Ultimate Iron Man. But Ram himself, as you can see, is really cool. Nice artwork. It's going to be a shame to open this up, but that's what I do. I get inside and get them out. That's how I do it. And I display them out of package, except for a few exceptions. But those, we won't get into on this channel. But as far as the packaging goes, that's about it. There's a lot on the back, but it's all just different languages and not much about the character himself. And since the character himself is not a household name, not a lot of people know who ROM is. They either think of, ROM as far as computers or ROM from Deep Space Nine if you're a Star Trek fan. But when I think of ROM, first thing I think of is the Space Knight. Comes with a cool amount of accessories, which we'll get to. So that's about it for the package. And like I said, since he's not a household name, I'm going to get into a little bit of his origin here to fill people in. So let's get right to that. ROM Spaceknight was originally an electronic toy produced by Parker Brothers, who had made only board games up to this point, in 1979. He touted electronic lights and sound along with his three primary devices, the neutralizer, energy analyzer, and universal translator. Although a cool toy, no background story was provided with the figure. Not until later that year, in December 1979, was he given the full Marvel Comics treatment, with the publication of ROM Spaceknight #1, skillfully represented by Bill Mantlo and Sal Buscema. ROM was originally human in appearance and belonged to a utopian society on the planet Galador, where he served as a poet. When the planet was threatened by the warlike dire wraiths, another technologically advanced race capable of shapeshifting, Galador's ruler, the Prime Director, called for volunteers to be transformed into cyborg warriors called Space Knights. Volunteers were promised that their humanity, which was the body parts removed to accommodate the armor, would be preserved and restored to them after the danger was over. Rom was the first to volunteer and was transformed into a large silver humanoid that at first glance appeared to be totally robotic. Rom was given Galador's greatest weapon, the neutralizer, which on one setting could banish the wraiths into the limbo dimension forever. Inspired by his example, other Galadorians volunteered, and eventually 1,000 were transformed into Space Knights, each with his or her own unique armor, powers, and codenames. Rom pursued the dire wraiths across the cosmos, eventually arriving on Earth. He allied himself frequently with Earth's heroes who, rallying to his name, stood beside him in his final greatest battle against his sworn enemies. With the final defeat of the dire wraiths on Earth, Rom took to the cosmos once again and returned to Galador. Once there, he regained his humanity and became supreme leader of the society. Along with his human partner, Brandy Clark, Rom vowed to repopulate the planet, with the remaining Space Knights as guardians to the newly rebuilt society. Alright, here's Rom out of the package with his accessories. As you can see, he comes with a few. We'll start with the coolest one, I think, which is this miniature version of the Marvel Comics ROM #1. ROM Spaceknight, first issue, Arrival. So cool. I mean, it looks just like it, but it's so small. We'll put that back in front of him, but I think that's really cool. He comes with a couple hands. We'll take a look at those first. We have the fist hand. Nice silver. He's on a peg, as you can see. Another grabbing hand for his left hand. I can't remember what it was. Left hand. Let me flip it over. As you can see, like the character himself, all his fingers are molded and melded into one. Kind of cool. We've got the analyzer. ROM's analyzer, one of his, I'd say not really weapons. It does analyze to see who is a dire wraith and who is not. It analyzes energy also. It comes from a pocket dimension that he has where he doesn't carry it all the time. He pulls it out of subspace. And then this is the weapon, the neutralizer. This is what sends the dire wraiths to limbo. As you can see, there's some cool detail on that. A little bit of sculpting. Really cool. And I also have the energy effect. As you can see here, we'll put that on the neutralizer. It just plugs right in. So you can get the firing effect. It's nicely sculpted. Pretty neat. We'll unplug that. That's about it for his accessories. Next, we'll take a look at his sculpt and paint applications. Here we are, up close and personal with ROM. Here's his face, as you can see, or his helmet. There's the front of his helmet, where his face would be. You can see his eyes are little red spots, and they do portray the glowing that is in the comics and on the old electronic figure. They're nice little star pattern kind of things. It's really cool. You can look at the side of his head here. So you can see the sculpting on the top. Goes all the way around to the other side. And on the back. Pretty cool. Got a cat meowing if you can hear that, but that's quite alright. His chest, really cool. Nicely done. The paint apps, he's got the red, glowing red on his, I guess it would be waist. Arms and musculature. Back his jetpack and his jet pods. As you can see, they've got red on the bottom to show where that's how he can fly. Nice sculpting on the back, a little detail with I think there's a little blue on there, unless could just be me. I'll take a look in person, not through the camera, to check that out. Arms are sculpted well. Hands, like I said, fingers are molded into one piece. But you can see there are humanoid fingers down in there. Nice job right here with the armor detail. Legs, really cool. Down to his thighs, and I guess would be his kind of boot type things. His feet look just like the feet on the old toy and in the comic book. Kind of just a two-toed version there. Go around to the back of the thighs. There's a ROM butt. Just overall, really cool. Now, I like what Hasbro does on these and the Black Series. Anything that's in armor, like Stormtroopers, Clone Troopers, Mandalorians, Iron Man, anybody with armor looks really, really good. It's because, well, it's just easier to do the joints, I would think. It looks really cool. So that about does it for his sculpt and paint. Now we'll take a look at his articulation. We will start with his head. His head just it spins 360. Of course, it does hit the shoulder things just a tad on the way back around, but I wouldn't be spinning it too much to scuff it or anything. And let's see how far he goes forward. Just a little teeny bit backwards, just a little teeny bit side to side. Not at all. That's all right. He is a stiff robot. Not really a robot, a cyborg. But let's see. His chest. We'll check out that. Chest is separated from the waist. It spins on its own. I'm sure it goes 360. I don't really want to do it though. Kind of cool. Arms. They go all the way out. Spin at the bicep. They go up just a little bit. He is hampered by his armor. Not much at all. That's all right. He has double jointed elbows. I know that. There we go. You can get really close up like that with his arms. That's pretty good. Look at that right in there. Jetpack just stays there. That's cool. And then we get down to his waist. This is pretty incredible. He can bend over 90 degrees. I've never seen that on any kind of figure, whether it be Marvel Legends, Hasbro Black Series, Star Wars Black Series, or McFarlane's. He just bends over completely at the waist. Now going back, he has a decent amount, just a little bit going backwards. That'd be good enough to get him in some flight poses. We'll see as I get to the posing. That's just really cool. That's just the way his armor works. Like I said, with armor, you can do a lot more things. His legs go all the way out into the Van Damme splits. All the way back in. They can go back, not much at all. Is hampered there, forward, just about 90 degrees forward. Sorry, I bumped the camera there with his foot. And he's got a thigh spinning here that can go 360 on his legs. Knees, not quite double jointed, but they can go back 90. Not bad at all. Get down to his feet. They can point straight down like that. Go up that far. And they're on that joint that does not spin due to the armor limitations again. Pretty cool. That about does it for his articulation. We'll put him back into his spot. Not bad at all. They dealt with the limitations of the armor very well. Now, well, let's get him in some poses and see what he looks like. Before I get to the posing, I want to do a couple size comparisons here with some of the bigger figures. Thor is one of the tallest heroes there are. There's plenty of villains that are taller, and well as Korg, the guy from Thor Ragnarok, but he's a little larger. I just wanted to do him with some of the heroes or villains that are more on the taller side, but not inhumanly tall. So he's about as tall as Thor here from the Dark World, as you can see. This one's a little inaccurate, I'm pretty sure. As you can tell here, he's a lot taller than Darth Vader. Darth Vader's supposed to be about 7 feet or a little more. I think Rom's supposed to be about 7'6", so maybe it's accurate, but there he is next to your standard Black Series Darth Vader. Here's Rom next to his Black Series Chewbacca. And for tradition's sake, here he is next to the McFarlane Toys Doomsday. So that's about it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I have him spinning here. I don't have ROM number 1, but I do have ROM number 2 from 1979, so we'll have him spinning in front of it. Once again, thanks for watching, and hopefully you learned something about ROM and learned to appreciate him as much as I do. I would recommend reading it, reading the comics. There's just recently came out with an omnibus of issues number 1 through 29. It's kind of pricey. I think I saw it on Amazon for about $78. It's a hardcover, but that's the only way you can get them other than individual issues. So that's about it. I will see you in the next one.